My brothers and sisters, a new year is approaching, and with it comes a truth many of us forget. Nothing changes unless you change. Time will not slow down for you. Opportunities will not knock forever. Blessings will not wait at your doorstep if you refuse to open the door. Before 2026 arrives, ask yourself with honesty, am I living my life or simply watching it pass by? Today, I want to share with you 10 things you must do before 2026, not to impress anyone, not to show off, not to chase the world, but to transform your life in a way that brings peace, growth, clarity, and closeness to Allah. If you act on these steps sincerely, 2026 will not be another year, it will be the beginning of a new you. Real change begins with honest self-evaluation. It is the moment you sit with yourself, away from noise, away from excuses, and away from the image you try to show the world. It is when you ask yourself the questions you have been avoiding for years. Who am I becoming? What habits are shaping me? What pain am I carrying? What mistakes am I repeating? What truth am I running away from? Most people want their lives to transform, but very few want to look in the mirror of their own soul, because that mirror doesn't lie. It reveals our weaknesses, our inconsistencies, our intentions, and the very patterns that are holding us back. Honest self-evaluation is not about feeling guilty or beating yourself up. It is about acknowledging reality so you can finally change it. You cannot fix what you refuse to admit. You cannot grow if you keep pretending everything is fine. When you become truthful with yourself, you remove the blindfold that has kept you walking in circles. Suddenly, you begin to see why your relationships fail, why your spiritual routines slip, why you lack discipline, why you feel stuck. It's not the world against you, sometimes it's you against yourself, and admitting that is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of maturity and strength. This kind of self-evaluation requires courage, because it means confronting parts of you that are uncomfortable. It means accepting responsibility for your choices. It means letting go of excuses like I'm busy, I'm tired, I'll try later, or this is just who I am. Real growth begins when you replace excuses with accountability. When you say, I can do better, I should do better, and with Allah's help I will do better. When you reflect sincerely, your habits, your environment, your mindset, your intentions, you begin to recognize what needs upgrading and what needs letting go. You start identifying which friendships drain your energy, which attitudes limit your progress, which sins darken your heart, and which blessings you have been ignoring. And once you see these things clearly, change becomes easier. Because now you're not acting blindly, you are acting with awareness. Honest self-evaluation is the foundation of every transformation. It opens the door to better decisions, cleaner intentions, stronger discipline, and deeper connection with Allah. It is not a one-time activity. It is a continuous conversation with your own heart. And the more sincere you are in this conversation, the more your life aligns with who you truly want to become. Small, consistent habits will build the future you are dreaming of. People often wait for a big breakthrough, a sudden miracle, or a dramatic turning point to transform their lives. But the truth is far simpler. Real transformation is built quietly, patiently, and steadily through the small actions you repeat every day. It is not the one intense burst of motivation that changes your destiny, but the small, humble steps you take long after the excitement has faded. Greatness is rarely loud. It is usually hidden inside silent routines that no one claps for. Every habit you perform becomes a brick in the foundation of your future. When you pray on time every day, even if it takes effort, you are building spiritual stability. When you read a page of Quran daily, you are nurturing your soul. When you spend 10 minutes learning, planning, organizing, walking, or improving yourself, you are planting seeds that will bloom later. The future you want is not far away. It is being shaped by what you do today, repeated tomorrow, and maintained the day after. Consistency is powerful because it rewires your mind. It teaches your heart discipline, your body routine, and your character patience. Even the smallest habit, when practiced daily, becomes part of who you are. You may think reading for 5 minutes or reflecting for 2 minutes won't change much, but over months and years, those minutes turn into wisdom, clarity, growth, and strength. This is why people who appear extremely disciplined are not necessarily superhuman. They simply mastered the art of showing up even when they didn't feel like it. Small habits are also easier to maintain. You don't overwhelm yourself, you don't burn out, you don't depend on motivation. You rely on quiet consistency, which carries you further than emotional bursts ever will. And the beautiful part is, each small habit inspires another. When you fix your sleep, you fix your productivity. When you improve your environment, you improve your focus. When you begin one small habit, it naturally leads to bigger improvements. The life you dream of, peace, discipline, success, closeness to Allah, strong character, good health, will not arrive suddenly. It will be built piece by piece. The problem is not that the dream is too big. The problem is that people underestimate the small steps. If you truly want a better 2026, don't promise yourself massive changes. Promise yourself small, consistent actions, because those are the actions that quietly shape you into the person you want to become. Your circle will either lift you or drown you. Choose wisely before 2026 arrives. The people you surround yourself with shape your mindset, your habits, your faith, and even your destiny. You may not notice it at first, but slowly, quietly, the influence of your circle begins to carve itself into your character. Some people speak life into you, remind you of your purpose, strengthen your connection with Allah, and encourage you to grow. And some people drain your energy, weaken your resolve, distract you from your goals, and lead you away from who you want to become. No matter how strong you believe you are, your environment will always affect you. Your circle is like a mirror. If it reflects goodness, you will rise. If it reflects negativity, you will fall. Sit with people who speak about aspirations, healing, faith, discipline, and betterment, and you'll naturally move toward those qualities. Sit with people who gossip, complain, waste time, chase the world, or belittle your goals, and you will unconsciously absorb their habits. You don't even have to participate, just being in their presence is enough to pull you down. That's why choosing your circle is not just a social decision. It's a spiritual and emotional necessity. Before 2026 arrives, evaluate your friendships with honesty. Who brings you closer to Allah? Who encourages your growth? Who corrects you when you slip? Who supports your dreams rather than mocking them? And just as importantly, who drains you? Who triggers your bad habits? Who fills your heart with negativity, jealousy, laziness, or doubt? Sometimes letting go of certain people is not arrogance, it is self-protection, it is saving your future. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win, not because they benefit from it, but because they genuinely care. People who remind you of your worth when you forget it. People whose presence brings calmness and clarity, not stress and confusion. Even one sincere friend is better than 10 companions who pull you away from your purpose. And remember, your circle is not only the people you meet physically, it includes the accounts you follow, the content you consume, the voices you allow in your mind. Be selective about who gets access to your heart and attention. Before 2026 arrives, choose people who lift you, challenge you, inspire you, and make you better. Because whether you rise or fall in the coming year may depend on who is walking beside you. Faith-driven discipline will open doors that talent alone cannot. Talent may give you a head start, but it is discipline rooted in faith that keeps you moving when motivation dries up and life becomes heavy. When your discipline is connected to your belief in Allah, when your effort is tied to intention, sincerity, and trust, your actions carry a different kind of strength. You are no longer relying on your own limited energy. You are relying on the one who never tires, never weakens, never fails. This is why some people rise far beyond their abilities. They are fueled by something deeper than skill. They are fueled by conviction. Faith-driven discipline means you show up even when you don't feel like it, because you know effort is an act of worship. You pray on time not because it is easy, but because you know it brings blessings. You study, work, improve yourself, stay consistent, and avoid sin not because you are perfect, but because you know Allah sees your effort, even when the world does not. Talent can impress people, but discipline impresses the Lord of the worlds. And when Allah is pleased with your persistence, He opens doors that no human could ever open. What many people fail to understand is that talent is temporary. It fades with age, distraction, laziness, and pride, but discipline, especially the kind rooted in faith, grows stronger with time. It molds your character, shapes your decisions, and builds resilience within your heart. When you act with faith-driven discipline, your setbacks become lessons, your failures become stepping stones, and your challenges become opportunities for spiritual growth. Nothing becomes wasted. This discipline also creates barakah, divine blessing, in your time, your work, your relationships, and your goals. You may do less, but you achieve more. You may take small steps, but they lead somewhere meaningful. You may struggle, but you are never alone, because the one you are doing it for is the one guiding you through it. When you rely solely on talent, you will stop the moment things get tough. But when you rely on faith-driven discipline, you keep going because you know your effort is seen, your patience is recorded, and your perseverance is rewarded. Before 2026 arrives, don't just seek talent. Seek discipline built upon faith. That combination can carry you to places you never imagined, opening doors you were never supposed to reach through ability alone. Letting go of past pain and unhealthy attachments is the fastest route to freedom. Many people are trapped not by their circumstances, but by the emotional weight they refuse to release. They carry memories that hurt, words that wounded, people who left, and mistakes that still echo in their hearts. They hold on to what broke them, hoping it will somehow fix itself. But healing doesn't come from clinging tightly to what harmed you. It comes from releasing it with trust that Allah has written something better ahead. The past cannot be changed, no matter how many times you replay it in your mind. Reliving your pain only makes the wound deeper. The moment you decide to let go, truly let go, you reclaim your power, you finally breathe again. You make space for peace to enter your life. Some attachments are not harmful because the people are bad, but because the bond is unhealthy. Maybe the relationship drains your energy, pulls you away from your purpose, or keeps you stuck in cycles of guilt and confusion. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you choose your well-being over your suffering. The hardest part is often the heart's resistance. Your emotions will tell you that letting go means losing something precious. But in reality, you are losing nothing except the chains that were holding you down. Many people cannot move forward because they are still holding on to doors that Allah has already closed. They haven't understood that sometimes the greatest mercy is separation. The greatest protection is distance. The greatest blessing is an ending. Letting go is an act of faith. It is saying, Ya Allah, I trust your plan more than my pain. When you release what is hurting you, you make room for what is meant for you. Your heart becomes lighter, your focus becomes clearer, you stop living in yesterday and start preparing for tomorrow. The past was a lesson, not a life sentence. Forgiving yourself is also part of letting go. You may have made mistakes, you may have chosen wrong people or wrong paths, but punishing yourself for the past doesn't change it. Learning from it does. Growth begins the moment you stop allowing old wounds to define your present. If you want freedom before 2026, stop carrying what was never meant to stay. Walk away from emotional prisons, release burdens that aren't yours, and trust that Allah replaces every loss with something better. Sometimes peace, sometimes clarity, sometimes a new beginning. Your time, energy, and attention are your greatest assets. Invest them intentionally before another year passes. Most people guard their money, their belongings, and their reputation, yet they allow their most valuable resources to slip away unnoticed. Time disappears in distraction, energy drains into meaningless conversations, and attention scatters across things that add no value to the heart or the future. What many don't realize is that your life is shaped not by what you wish for, but by where you consistently place these three assets. Time is the one thing you can never recover. Once a minute is gone, it will never return. Yet many of us waste hours scrolling, overthinking, comparing, and entertaining negativity. If you were told you had only a limited amount of money left, you would spend it carefully. But every one of us has a limited amount of time left, we just don't see the number. Before another year passes, take control of the clock instead of letting it control you. Use your time for building habits, strengthening faith, nurturing relationships, and working toward the life you truly want. Your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it. When you let the wrong people drain you, you have nothing left for what matters. When you spend your mornings tired from late night distractions, you lose the chance to use your best strength for your best goals. Protect your energy the way you would protect something precious. Give it to people who uplift you, work that fulfills you, worship that centers you, and goals that improve you. And then there is your attention, the gatekeeper of your mind and heart. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is swallowed by the past, you stay stuck. If it's captured by negativity, you become heavy. If it's lost in entertainment, you become unproductive. But if you direct your attention toward growth, gratitude, faith, and learning, your life begins to shift in powerful ways. The truth is simple. You are always investing these three assets either in things that build you or in things that break you. Every moment you are choosing, every hour you are shaping your destiny. Before another year passes, become intentional. Spend your time wisely, protect your energy fiercely, and direct your attention purposefully. When you honor these gifts, Allah places blessing barakah in your days, clarity in your mind, and peace in your heart. My brothers and sisters, as we stand on the edge of a new year, remember this: your future will not change by accident. It will change by intention, by discipline, by faith, and by the choices you make starting today. Every step we discussed, from honest self-evaluation to building small habits, to choosing the right circle, to letting go of pain, to protecting your time and energy, is a door leading you toward a better, stronger, calmer, and more purposeful version of yourself. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by what you choose to become next. And Allah has placed within you the ability to rise, to heal, to grow, and to transform. But He will not change your condition until you take the first step toward change. Before 2026 arrives, promise yourself one thing: I will no longer watch my life from the sidelines. I will participate. I will improve. I will strive. I will seek what brings me closer to Allah and away from anything that weakens my heart. Your journey doesn't need perfection, it only needs sincerity. And if you walk even a little bit toward Allah, He will open paths you never imagined, and your efforts will blossom into blessings far beyond your expectations. So start today. Start small, start quietly, start sincerely, and let 2026 be the year you look back and say, "That was the moment everything changed for me."